We are pleased to be joined by Newsmax TV political analyst and presidential strategist Dick Morris. Dick, of course, also co-author of the best-selling book Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. Dick, as we come to you in Connecticut, we also have a chance to take a look at one of the caucus locations in Iowa. I don't know what party, I don't know where exactly it is, but we do have people gathered in that particular location preparing to make a decision. And it looks like the room is full. So against that backdrop, Dick, do you believe Iowans will turn out in record numbers tonight?
Well, first, let me say the reason that the evangelicals understand Trump so well, in his view, is that they used to worship in God.
Ooh. Okay, well, aside from the lounge act, Dick, seriously, what about the numbers tonight? Do you expect more conservatives to show up? And on the left with the Democrats, has Bernie Sanders ignited a group? Will we see a huge crowd?
I think on the Democratic side, you certainly will. On the Republican side, I think you'll see the largest ever, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be gigantic. The stats are that in 2008, 108,000 people came to the Republicans. In 2012, 122,000 came. And I think at this point it'll be around 140 to 150. If that happens, then I think Cruz is likely to win. If it gets larger than that, if it gets up around 200, then I think Trump is likely to win.
Dick, most polling has put Trump consistently ahead, but Iowa GOP caucus goers have surprised us in the past, as you know. Who do you think will end up on top, or could it be tight between Cruz and Trump?
I don't think that the polls that show Trump far ahead mean much, because you just have no idea who's going to show up at the caucuses. And the problem is that any pollster who wants to make a living has got to have a large enough sample so that a good-sized sample, otherwise he'll bankrupt himself trying to find the actual people that will show up. Just to give you a frame of reference here, let's say the 200,000 show up. There are 4 million people in Iowa, so you'd have to interview 20 people before you find one person that will go to a caucus. And that's an expensive process when you got to find 400 people for a sample. So the polls, I don't think, mean much. I would expect that Cruz will gain 7 to 10 points above the latest polling because of no-shows for Trump and because of his own field organization. So I expect Cruz will win tonight. On the other hand, I think he damaged himself badly with that mailing that he sent out, making like he was the Board of Elections with the police department chasing down voters to get them to go to the caucus. I thought that was a mistake.
And he was criticized by the Iowa Secretary of State, also a Republican. But really, in this last week, Dick, it seems, metaphorically speaking, like all the knives have been out for Ted Cruz.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. But I think that Cruz's knives, which are particularly sharp, have been out for Trump. And I think the most effective ad of the last week in Iowa was Trump looking into the camera and saying, "I am pro-choice, decidedly pro-choice." And when Tim Russert, who was interviewing him at the time, asked him, "What about partial birth abortion?" he said, "I'm pro-choice even then." And I think that is hurting him badly. I think the reason Trump did not come to the debate is he didn't want to have to answer that question. And I think that's going to hurt him in this situation. And I think Rubio is coming on strong. I think he could be viable. But I don't expect him to do better than third tonight. I expect it to be Cruz, Trump, Rubio.
But who needs Iowa the most?
Well, they need it in different ways. If Trump doesn't get Iowa, there's going to be a feeling that his vote is a mirage, that he really can't produce people. It's just a whim when people say they're for him, and it's not really a vote that he can count on and work with. It'll undermine his status as the front runner. Cruz needs a first-place finish because he needs to show that he is the alternative to Trump. And he needs ultimately to create a two-way race with Trump, because probably a majority of the voters would go with him as opposed to Trump in a two-way contest. Basically because everybody who's voting for someone other than Trump right now probably would never end up voting for Trump. He'll keep his loyalists, but not pick up anybody else. Rubio needs at least a second-place finish if he can, or a tight, good, strong third-place finish, in order to make this a three-way race.
And we will be watching for that, Dick Morris. We do appreciate your time, your insights, and your analysis.